Good morning. Now we are going to start that chemical properties of methane and ethane. So oxidation property already we have started in the previous video. In oxidation combustion we have studied, and now next one is catalytic oxidation. So now we are going to study catalytic oxidation of methane and ethane. So usually we are using two catalysts. First copper tube is there and then molybdenum oxide is there. So if you take alkane means methane and ethane. It combines with oxygen in the presence of copper tube, and the temperature is 200 degrees Celsius is taken. So when this alkane is methane or ethane is oxidized, that will give corresponding alcohol. That will give corresponding alcohol. So let us see first of all methane. So methane combined with oxygen, and this copper tube is there, and the temperature is 200 degrees Celsius. That will give corresponding alcohol, that is methanol. So you will get methanol, and this one is methane. Corresponding. It is not balanced. Now you can write here 2 carbon 2 atom, carbon 2 hydrogen, 4 2s are 8, 4 2s 8, oxygen 2, it is balanced. In the same way, if you take ethane combined with oxygen in the presence of copper tube at the temperature of 200 degrees Celsius, this will give corresponding alcohol C2H5. So this twice. So this one is ethane and that one is ethanol. Now next one is with molybdenum oxide. So this alkane, that oxygen with molybdenum oxide, temperature 350 to 500 degrees Celsius, that will give aldehyde, corresponding aldehyde. Aldehyde plus H2. So let us see. This methane combined with oxygen in the presence of molybdenum oxide 350 to 500 degrees Celsius, this will give SCHO plus H2. It is balanced. So this one is methane and that one is methanol. Here. In the same way, if you take ethane combined with oxygen in the presence of molybdenum oxide, temperature 350 to 500 degrees Celsius, this will give CH3CHO plus H2O. This one is ethanol. That one is ethane. So just to see, reactants are same, but only by changing the catalyst. When you change the catalyst, so your product will change. So that's why when you write the equation, you give the importance for the catalyst. So when you use copper tube 200 degrees Celsius, you are getting alcohol, and when you use molybdenum oxide, you are getting aldehyde. If you go through your book, next one is given controlled and slow oxidation. What is a controlled and slow oxidation? They say controlled and slow oxidation is given, means after alkane, when alkane is oxidized, then what product you will get? That is the meaning of the slow oxidation, means alkane to alcohol, alcohol to aldehyde to carboxylic acid. So if you take alkane and this one is oxidized with controlled and slow oxidation, so that will give you alcohol. Then further oxidation On further oxidation, this will give you acid. Means if you are taking methane, so when methane is oxidized, this will give you methanol, alcohol it will give. And if you further oxidize, that will give you aldehyde, that methanol. Then further oxidation, if you take, that will give you acid, corresponding acid. So this one is methane, methane to methanol, then methanol, and then methanoic acid. In the same way, if you take ethane, C2H6, by this controlled slow oxidation, you will get that ethanol. On further oxidation, same thing will be here, that you will get acetaldehyde or ethanol. On further oxidation, you will get carboxylic acid, ethanoic acid. So C2, A2Cr2O7, here slow oxidation, A2Cr2O7. So this one is ethane, then ethanol, then ethanol, then ethanoic acid. So here the question can be asked to you, corresponding product, when ethane is oxidized, then which alcohol you will get? Ethanol. Which aldehyde you will get? Ethanol. Which acid you will get? Ethanoic acid. So like this they can ask. But if it is asked to you convert alkane to that alcohol, so that you can follow that copper tube, because here you can get the corresponding product. But the equation is not in a balanced form, so the mark cannot be given. So from this equation you can know that what corresponding alcohol, aldehyde and acid can be obtained. But if it is asked convert methane to methanol, so the previous one, that is copper tube, that you have to use. If they are asking convert methanol to that aldehyde, then molybdenum oxide. And if you take this potassium dichromate or chemicals is defined, and directly alcohol can be converted to carboxylic acid. If you want to convert any alcohol to carboxylic acid, so if you want to convert alcohol to carboxylic acid, so directly you can use that acidified potassium dichromate. So if any question asked like that, so we will follow this pattern. We convert methane or ethane to alcohol, and then alcohol can be oxidized directly to carboxylic acid. For example, if you take CH3OH and this nascent oxygen, and here it will be K2Cr2O7, this acidified, so that can be converted to acetic acid, formic acid. So carbon 1, hydrogen 4, but here 2 are there, so extra you can take water. So oxygen 1, here 3. 1 is given here, 2 you can take here. Now this balance. In the same way, if you take ethanol, so ethanol directly can be converted to ethanoic acid. So this CH3COOH, H2O, this K2Cr2O7, H3SO4. So carbon 2, hydrogen 6, 4 to 6, oxygen 3. Then because in the paper if they are asking conversion, so they need the complete balance equation. So what is given in our book, that controlled and slow oxidation, if you go to the page number 231, from this one you can get only the corresponding alcohol, aldehyde and acid. But balance form equation is not written. So if it is asked to you convert methanol to methanoic acid, so directly you can convert this one. This conversion is correct. So if they are asking methane to methanoic acid, so first methane to convert to methanol and then methanoic acid. Now next one you see pyrolysis reaction. This pyrolysis is not given in the syllabus. Then next one is uses of methane and ethane. It is given in syllabus. So just you see illuminants and domestic fuel in the form of the natural gas or gobar gas. Hydrocarbons have high calorific value. They are easily combustible and the reaction is exothermic, so releasing the heat energy. Hence they are excellent fuel. So in the board paper it is asked, once it is asked why these hydrocarbons are excellent fuel, so you can write that they have the high calorific value. So that's why they are the excellent fuel. So it is underlined you can in your book that hydrocarbons have the high calorific value. They are easily combustible and the reaction is exothermic, releasing heat energy. Hence they are excellent fuel. You can mark there. Then in manufacture of chloroform, chloroform is used as solvent for rubber, waxes, anesthesia. Carbon black, a black pigment in shoe polishes, printer ink. Then formaldehyde and as antiseptic preservation for biological specimen. You must have seen in biolab that some species are kept in jar. In the jar liquid is there. That liquid is formalin solution is there. When this formaldehyde dissolves in water, that is called formalin. So that solution is used. Then methanol, solvent for varnishes, antifreeze for automobiles. In the radiator we are putting the water. And suppose that the place where the temperature is -5 degrees Celsius is there or -10 degrees Celsius is there. So when we put water in that radiator, that will freeze. So what we do, in that water we mix methanol. So when we mix methanol in water, it is called antifreeze. Methanol is used as antifreeze and freezing point of water will decrease. So according to your requirement, you can add more amount of methanol and by this way you can use as a antifreeze. Then ethanol, solvent and low freezing liquid in thermometers. So this is about the alkane. Now we are going to take alkenes. So we are going to start alkene. In alkene and alkyne, the preparation is removed from the syllabus. So next one is alkene. So we are going to start alkene. Yes. What is the general formula of alkene? You know, the general formula is CnH2. This is unsaturated hydrocarbon. This is unsaturated hydrocarbons. In this alkene, between the carbon atom, double bond is there. So the first member is C2H4. For the C2H4, what is the structural feature? What is the structural feature? The structural feature is carbon-carbon double bond and characteristic reaction. Characteristic reaction is addition reaction. Characteristic reaction is addition reaction. And if you compare alkane and alkene, so this alkene will be more reactive. Alkene is more reactive than alkane because in this one carbon-carbon double bond is there. So some lines are there. You can underline in your book. Alkene, unsaturated aliphatic hydrocarbons containing carbon-carbon double bond. You must be thinking what is aliphatic. These higher members are obtained from the fats. So that's why they are called aliphatic. So alkenes, unsaturated aliphatic hydrocarbons containing carbon-carbon double bond in their molecule. Hydrocarbons in which valencies of at least 2 carbon atoms are not fully satisfied by hydrogen atoms are deficient in hydrogen as compared to alkene are said to be unsaturated. So this is the definition of unsaturated. Then general formula is given CnH2n. There is no alkene corresponding to methane, as the first member of alkene series is ethene, which is corresponding to alkane. And reactivity of alkenes are more reactive than alkenes due to the presence of carbon-carbon double bond or olefinic bonds. Then sources you can study. Nomenclature already you have studied, so just to go through. And structure you can mark most important structural formula of ethene. This structural formula is very important. Many times asked in board paper. So this when it is asked structural formula of ethene, so write this structure. Now next one is that preparation is removed from the syllabus. So no need to study the preparation. Physical properties also removed. And now next one is chemical properties that we have to study. So we are going to take chemical properties of ethene. Now chemical properties of ethene. Chemical properties of ethene. So first of all, that characteristic reaction. So characteristic reaction is addition. Addition reaction. So basically we have to study that addition of hydrogen, chlorine, bromine. So these three we have to study. So this ethene is there. When this ethene react with hydrogen in the presence of nickel catalyst. This one is ethene. In the presence of nickel catalyst, when hydrogen is added, this will form ethane. This will form ethane. So this reaction is called hydrogenation reaction. This reaction is called hydrogenation reaction. Hydrogenation. What is the meaning of hydrogenation? Addition of hydrogen to the organic compound in the presence of the nickel catalyst. And this hydrogenation reaction is used in manufacture of the vegetable ghee. This vegetable oil is liquid is there, that is unsaturated. This is purified, and after purification, in the presence of the nickel catalyst, this hydrogen gas is passed. So when the hydrogen gas is passed, saturation takes place. So from unsaturated to saturated vegetable, that vegetable ghee is formed. So by this way, change of state we will get. And next one is addition of chlorine. So when the chlorine is added here on ethene, this chlorine is added in the presence of carbon tetrachloride. So what you will get, this double bond is broken, and at the place of the double bond, this chlorine is added. Now the naming of this compound, 1, 2 do the numbering. This compound is 1,2 dichloroethene. So the question can be asked to name the product form when chlorine react with ethene. So when chlorine react with ethene, the product is 1,2-dichloroethene. What type of the reaction is this one? Addition reaction. Now next one is this bromine, very important. So how this addition of the bromine will take place? Let us see. So when bromine is added, the color of the bromine is brown, and that brown color is discharged. This changes to colorless. So ethene is there. this double bond bromine will be added. 1 2 this compound is 1,2 dibromoethene. So this one is ethene. The question can be asked to you, what do you observe when bromine is added and brown color changes to colorless? What point is there? Test for unsaturation. Test for unsaturation. So in the test for unsaturation, we are using two compounds, two reagents we are using. First one is bromine in CCl4 or bromine water. Anyone? Both are same. So here, if the compound is unsaturated and when it reacts with bromine vapors, then brown color of bromine discharge. Discharge means changes to colorless. So if the question is asked to you, what do you observe when bromine reacts with ethane, then our answer will be there, brown color discharge. Because this double bond is there. Which compound is formed? 1,2-dibromoethene. And the second one is given Bayer's reagent. Second one is Bayer's reagent. What is the Bayer's reagent? This 1% alkaline KMnO4 solution. This one is Bayer's reagent, 1% alkaline KMnO4, cold alkaline KMnO4. So when we take the cold alkaline KMnO4, this purple color is there. So purple color of KMnO4 discharge. Purple color of KMnO4 discharge. Discharge means changes to colorless. So that will come in the coming topic. So now this addition reaction, that is over. Just to go through your book, page number 234. Addition reaction, catalytic hydrogenation mark and halogenation. That chlorine bromine in the same way iodine also you can do. Then chemical test you underline. Brown color of bromine discharge serve as test for unsaturation. Here you can mark most important. Chemical test. Brown color of bromine discharge serve as test for unsaturation. Then halogenation you can leave it. Sulfuric acid also you can leave it. Ozone also you can leave it. Next one is oxidation. That is in our syllabus that we have to study. Oxidation. So now we are going to take oxidation. Oxidation. So oxidation, first one. Oxidation. This one only Bayer's reagent. This Bayer's reagent only we will use here. So with a cold dilute alkaline KMnO4. So when this ethene react with cold dilute alkaline KMnO4, this cold dilute 1% alkaline KMnO4 solution is there. So what will happen? This H2O combined with O form OH group. This bond is broken, and here CH2 and this OH group is coming in. This compound is ethane 1,2-diethene. So your observation is there that purple color of KMnO4 discharge or purple color changes to colorless. So if it is asked to you, what do you observe when ethene reacts with cold dilute alkaline KMnO4? Observation will be there, purple color changes to colorless. Already written there, purple color of KMnO4 discharge. So the combustion, that complete combustion is given. So when you burn any hydrocarbon in the sufficient amount of oxygen, so this will form carbon dioxide and water vapor. So same thing happen here also. This will form carbon dioxide and water vapor. Carbon, just to see two atoms, two molecules, carbon dioxide, hydrogen 4, half of the 4, 2. Now oxygen, 2 to the 4, 2, 6. You can multiply it by 3. So by this way, that exothermic reaction will be there, heat is liberated, and carbon dioxide and water vapor will be formed. So here also, at page number 235, underline this one. Oxidation with cold dialkyl KMnO4 and combustion. These two only you have to study. And this combustion reaction they have asked many times in board paper. Then chemical test, underline. Purple KMnO4 first converted to green K2MnO4, which is unstable in alkaline medium, gets converted to brown MnO2, the supernatant liquid being decolorized. So either this way you write, or directly you can write that KMnO4 changes to colorless. Both are correct, any way you can write. Now this polymerization is given, you can leave it, not in the syllabus. Next, uses. So just to see, production of oxyethylene torch for welding purpose and cutting. So when this ethylene you burn in oxygen, the reaction is highly exothermic. So if the reaction is highly exothermic, that flame can be used either for cutting of the metal or for welding of the metal. Any way you can use it. Then ripening of the green fruits, artificial ripening and preservation of the fruits, and catalytic hydrogenation used in hardening of the oils, unsaturated hydrocarbon chain. Unsaturated carbon chain that I told you. Manufacture of synthetic chemicals, ethylene glycol, it is used antifreeze. Just now I have explained what is antifreeze. Diethyl ether solvent, ethylene oxide fusion, mustard gas, chemical warfare. And polymer, that polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride, PVC used in packaging, insulation and container. Rainbow. Now next one is that alkynes. Let me start the alkynes. Now, next one, we are going to start alkynes. So, alkynes, what is the general formula? General formula is CnH2n minus 2. And here, between the carbon atom, triple bond is there. So, structural feature that carbon-carbon triple bond and then characteristic reaction addition reaction. The first member of this series will be C2H2. This C2H2 common name is acetylene, very famous acetylene. This compound, the structure of this compound is this. This is also unsaturated because carbon-carbon triple bond is there. And if it is unsaturated, so that will give the test with bromine, water or bromine vapors, and Bayer's reagent test that will give. So that you underline. Alkynes, unsaturated aliphatic hydrocarbons containing carbon-carbon triple bond. The general formula is given CnH2n minus 2. Then reactivity, alkynes are more reactive than alkenes due to the presence of carbon-carbon triple bond. And this is called acetate linkage, and previously you have seen that polyphenic linkage. Then sources you can study, nomenclature already you have studied. So structures are given, structural formula that you can do yourself. And this structural formula of ethyl, you mark there most important. And made here. So in the paper it is asked the structural formula of ethyl. So this structure you know, no one can cut them out. Now preparation that is removed from the syllabus. So no need to study. Physical properties also removed from the syllabus. And now next one is chemical properties of ethyl. that addition reaction we have to study. So chemical properties of ethane. So now next one is chemical properties of ethane. Chemical properties of ethane. So first of all, addition reaction. In addition reaction, we have to study that with hydrogen, with chlorine, and with three others. So first of all, this acetylene, this triple bond is there. Both the bond will be broken except the one. So in the first step, combined with hydrogen in the presence of the nickel catalyst, and this one is triple bond is there. One bond is first broken, and then hydrogen will come here. In the next step, one more molecule of hydrogen is added here. So this bond is broken. Now this is converted to ethane. So this will be ethane. This one is ethene, and this one is ethane. I want to tell you that when this is catalytic hydrogenation. When this catalytic hydrogenation reaction takes place, reaction will not stop here. That will stop there unless and until it is fully saturated. So these two are the unsaturated, that one is saturated. In the same way, when it reacts with chlorine in the presence of carbon tetrachloride, so first of all, one bond is broken. This carbon-carbon double bond, and chlorine molecules are added. 1, 2. This compound is 1, 2 dichloroethene, and again one more molecule is added, Cl2 in CCl4 presence. So again this double bond is broken, and this product will be, numbering you can do 1, 2. The product will be 1, 1, 1 for this chlorine, 1 for this chlorine, then 2 for that chlorine, 2 for this, 1, 1, 2, 2 tetrachloroethene. So by this way, you will get the product. In the same way, you can do the reaction with bromine. So let us see the reaction with bromine. As you know, the color of the bromine is brown is there, but when this bromine reacts with ethyl, then brown color changes to colorless. So that is used as a test for unsaturation. Very important. So react with bromine in the presence of this carbon tetrachloride, means this ethyl dissolved in carbon tetrachloride, then bromine vapors are. So what will happen? First of all, one bond is broken, and this bromine. This compound is 1, 2 dichloroethene. In the next step, this bromine molecule combined, and the bond is broken, and here again one more molecule of bromine will be added. So do the numbering. So just to see, for this bromine 1, for this bromine 1, for this bromine 2, for this bromine. So this compound will be 1, 1, 2, 2, and this bromine is coming 4 times, tetrabromoethane. Tetrabromoethane we were getting. And what is the observation? Observation is that brown color of bromine changes to colorless. So this you please underline. Page number 238, chemical test. brown color of bromine discharge serve as test for unsaturation. Very important, most important. And if they are asking the product, what product will be formed? So products written here, this 1,1,2,2 tetrahromoethane. So this product is formed, and this color change you are getting. Why you are getting the color change? Because this ethyne is unsaturated. Why it is unsaturated? Because carbon-carbon triple bond is. If you go through your book, next one is given halogen acid, no need to study. Ozone, no need to study. Then oxidation we are going to do. So next one is oxidation rates. So next we are going to study oxidation of ethane. Oxidation. So oxidation, two cases are there. First one is cold dilute alkaline chemical, that is pale steel. So when this ethyne react with cold dilute alkaline cheminophore, this ethyne react with cold dilute alkaline cheminophore, that will provide the nascent oxygen. This cold dilute alkaline cheminophore, this will form carboxylic acid, C-double-OH, C-double-OH. This compound is called dicarboxylic is an oxalic acid. This compound is called oxalic acid. IUPAC name you want to write this ethane 1,2 dioic acid. Observation, what we observe? This purple color of cheminophore changes to colorless. That is used as a test for unsaturation. And now next one is combustion. That combustion, you know that if you burn any hydrocarbon, that they will form carbonation water vapor. So combustion, this acetylene burn with oxygen, this will form carbon dioxide and water vapor. Carbon atom, just you see two are there, two molecules, hydrogen 2, half of the 2, 1. What molecule after? Now oxygen, 2 to the 4 plus 1, 5. Here you have to make 5, then you can multiply by 5 by 2. Now it is balanced percentage fraction form. In the fraction we are not getting the mark, we will write in whole number. This is the rule. When we write a chemical equation, we write in whole number. So multiplied by 2, then 2C2H2, 5O2, that will give 4CO2, 2 is 2. So the product will be carbon dioxide and water. Now next one is given with ammonium cuprous chloride and ammonium silver nitrate. This one is used as a test for ethane. This is also important reaction. So next one is ammonium cuprous chloride. So when ammonium cuprous chloride react with ethane, we are getting red precipitate. And when ammonium silver nitrate react, we are getting white precipitate. So next one is ammonium cuprous chloride. So with ammonium cuprous chloride, we are getting red precipitate. So just you see, this acetylene is there. Acetylene react ammonium cuprous chloride. This ammonium hydroxide and cuprous chloride. So how this reaction will take place? From here the breakers will be there, and this copper will come here. So you need 2 copper. So this will form copper acetylene. This copper, this compound is copper acetylene. This one is red precipitate, copper acetylene, and this hydrogen is coming here, form HCl. As you know, this is acid and that is base. So that should take that this will form 2 ammonium chloride plus 2H2. So by this way, so what is your observation? When ammonium cuprous chloride react with acetylene or ethane, you will get red precipitate, this copper acetylide is formed. This common name of this compound is acetylene. In the same way, you can take ammonical silver nitrate. So when ammonical silver nitrate react with acetylene, we are getting that white precipitate. So how this reaction will be written? This silver nitrate, ammonical is there. So when this silver nitrate, ammonical react, how this reaction will be? Just you see, from here the bond breaking will take place. This will come here silver and form silver acetylide. This compound is silver acetylide. Silver acetylide. And this 2H is coming here. This will come here from HNO3. HNO3 is acid and ammonium oxide is base. So they will form salt and water. So that will form ammonium nitrate and H2. Some of the writers, they are telling this one Tollens reagent also. Tollens reagent also. Now it is not mentioned, but this is Tollens reagent also. So the question is asked, what do you observe when acetylene react with Tollens reagent? So observation will be there. White precipitate is formed. Here, in the case of copper, we have seen that red precipitate. Here, you will get white precipitate. So your observation will be there. White precipitate. White precipitate. Not solution. White precipitate is formed. So please underline in your book. First of all, oxidation. To mark chemical test, purple color of K14 discharge turns green, serve as a test for unsaturation, most important. Then chemical test, formation of the colored precipitate, red precipitate of copper acetylide, white precipitate of silver acetylide, serve as a test for ethyne only. Next one is given uses, that production of oxy-acetylene torch. So for welding purpose, you must have seen that on the roadside some gas welders are there. So what they are doing? They are burning this acetylene gas in the presence of 100% of oxygen, not the air, oxygen. So the flame temperature is very high, 3500 degrees Celsius temperature is there in that flame. So that flame can be used either for cutting of the metal or for joining of the metal. Anyway it can be used. Then ripening of the green fruits, you must have seen that mangoes are ripened by this carbide. So what is the carbide? This calcium carbide is there. This calcium carbide reacts with moisture from acetylene gas. So this reaction is exothermic. So by this way, when this acetylene is released, that can be used as a for ripening of the fruit. So artificial ripening and preparation of the fruits, this ethyne is used. Manufacture of organic compounds, acetic acid, acetaldehyde, acetylene, dichloride and oxalic acid, that is used for ink stain removal. Manufacture of synthetic products, polymers, synthetic rubbers, fibers. So uses that is given in syllabus, you can study. So after this alcohol and carboxylic acid, they have already removed from the syllabus because 30% syllabus is reduced. So in that one they have removed. So you have to study up to alkynes only. And now just you see, test I am giving you how can you differentiate between ethane, ethene and ethyne. So just one chart I will make here. How to differentiate between ethane, ethene and ethyne. So let us see. So this one is ethane. This one is ethene. This one is ethyne. So how you can differentiate? So first of all, if you take bromine vapors in CCl4, ethane will not give the test because this is saturated, but this ethene and ethyne will give. So if the question is asked, give a chemical test to distinguish between ethane and ethene, you can apply this unsaturation test. If ethane and ethyne is asked, you can apply unsaturation test. So unsaturation test reagent. That will not give, these two will. So between one saturated and one unsaturated, you can apply unsaturation test. Either between ethane and ethene or between ethane and ethyne. But suppose that if it is coming that differentiate between ethene and ethyne, so in that one we have got two tests: ammonical cuprous chloride and ammonical silver nitrate. So these two tests, that ethane will not give, ethene will also not give, but this ethyne will give. So this is a very important chart. If it is asked to you, give a chemical test to distinguish between ethene and ethyne, so I suggest you can either use this ammonical cuprous chloride or ammonical silver nitrate. So when ethyne reacts with ammonical cuprous chloride, you are getting red precipitate. Just now you studied, and with ammonical silver nitrate, it will give the white precipitate. But this ethene will not give. So it is up to you. If the question is asked between ethane and ethene or ethane and ethyne, so you in both the cases you can apply unsaturation test. Unsaturation test you can apply. But if it is asked between ethene and ethyne, these two, so you have got two tests you can apply, that ammonical cuprous chloride or ammonical silver nitrate. So when we discuss the board questions, they will ask you. So at that time you will see. So between one saturated, one unsaturated, you can apply unsaturation test. But if both are unsaturated, ethene and ethyne, so we will apply either ammonical cuprous chloride or ammonical silver nitrate. Don't think that they can ask anything. Only this one is syllabus. So this way you can study. So now this chapter organic chemistry is over. In the next video, we will discuss the board questions.